Hello and welcome back to the channel for another video. Sorry I haven't fully figured out the lighting yet. I think this is a bit better than it was yesterday. In this video I want to talk about Jenna Marbles, Shane Dawson and cancel culture. If you look at my subscriber count you may be like, well, what is the point in you talking about cancel culture? Now, I have been on both sides to some extent. I have had backlash from doing something online, and I've also been the one that has kind of been a part of cancelling someone. So, a lot of you, I believe, would know me from a video that Primmick made called YouTube's Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, which is about a YouTuber called Repzilla. This is where the being part of the cancelling comes into it. I wouldn't say it was cancelling as such, but as he lost a few thousand subscribers, I would say that for the purpose of this video, that is what I'm going to refer to it as. Primmick's video was more about shattering his persona or the facade that he had and not exactly cancelling him as such, if that makes sense. If you haven't seen the video then it may not make sense. But this ties into Shane Dawson and Jenna Marbles because Jenna Marbles has quit YouTube over things that people have been calling her out for from the past, and Shane Dawson made a video today called Taking Accountability. Now, I've seen half of or most of Shane Dawson's video, and I haven't seen Jenna Marbles' video. I don't actually watch Jenna, but the general gist that I got from it, from online, is where it comes into play in this video. I also saw something which is kind of why I wanted to make this video, apart from those two videos, which was saying about why cancel culture shouldn't exist and what you should think about before you cancel someone. And although there are instances where cancel culture kind of sucks and it maybe shouldn't be the case, cancel culture exists for a reason. And there are many cases where it is justifiable. And one of those cases is Repzilla. So before the Primmick video, I made another video which was 43 minutes long. And this is where the backlash from that video kind of comes into play. So I called him out and I received backlash from his fans and some other people, I guess some of my fans as well, that were also fans of his. There were a couple of hundred comments on that video, and most of them were calling me out for making the video and such. And although I was a small channel, I did lose some subscribers, but that isn't important to this video. I'd also like to say that I may have some trouble kind of getting my point across. Now, as that backlash happened, I felt bad about making the video in general, and I feel like that was kind of the point. Kind of gang mentality to bring down a video that wasn't favorable to the person. Now, although this isn't really in the same league as Jenna Marbles and Shane Dawson, when I think of this, I think of it as kind of like what happened with Taddy and James Charles. Although my video wasn't accusing the person of predatory behavior or anything like that, I feel like there's some degrees to cancel culture. And my video wasn't about like racism or anything like that. It was more the stealing of ideas and such. As always, there's two sides. There is the person who is being cancelled and the person who is doing the cancelling. And that all really depends on the format in which it takes place. If it takes place on YouTube, there is the person who is doing the cancelling if it's a video about someone else. And there's the person who is on the receiving end. My video didn't do much. I mean, there was a lot more damage done towards me than there was to the person I was making the video about. It would later be spoken about in Primmick's video. There were a lot of people who called me a liar, said I was overreacting and whatnot, which is fine in a way, although I still stand by that video to this day. When it came to Primmick's video, things changed. And I don't know if it was because of the size of his audience or not, but a lot of people became aware of Repzilla's actions, and not just towards me, just as a whole. And I think that Repzilla deserved to be cancelled. And that may be a big claim, but it's all kind of down to patterns of behavior. If you compare the Repzilla thing, let's just say Primic's video, not my video, but Primic's video, just as a whole, compare Primic's video to Shane Dawson's, for example. Now, Shane Dawson's is taking accountability. Primic's video about Repzilla is about a pattern of behavior over time. And although it was bad, like what was presented in Primic's video was bad, like showed bad patterns towards Repzilla's behavior, what has been done since is, in my opinion, all the more reason as to why Repzilla should have been cancelled. And that is also down to patterns of behavior. As I said, Repzilla didn't do blackface or anything. But unlike Shane Dawson, for example, there was no real taking accountability from Repzilla. And this is where, in my opinion, the cancelling thing comes into it. It's all well and good to get called out and be like, I'm sorry, or be like, okay, shouldn't have done that, I'll change how I am. Shane Dawson's video taking accountability, that's a step, right? Jenna Marbles' video, as I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't actually 100% say, but at least talking about what she had done, that is a step. And Shane Dawson, he was called out for blackface, among other things, and the fact that he realized that is something that's a good step. Now, of course, there's going to be people who say, well, shouldn't have done it in the first place. Fair enough, I understand. Blackface is not good, it's racist, right? When it came to the thing that I saw about cancel culture, it was that people should be allowed to kind of learn or grow from their mistakes. And Shane Dawson, although he did blackface multiple times, has seemingly learned from his mistakes in that regard. As I said, haven't seen the full video, so I don't know about all the other stuff that he has spoken about in that video. I know that there's other stuff floating around, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't really know what he said about it. But with that, and comparing it to the Repzilla thing, Rep made an apology that was like 2 or 3 minutes long, where he took accountability, and that was all well and good. Apart from the fact that he deleted it and then uploaded another video which was 40 minutes long, he has also since, all the stuff in Premier's video, or the majority of it, he has said either didn't happen or the sources aren't reputable, including myself, which is completely false. Anyway, he has not learnt from what he's done. There's seemingly no regret for his actions, for what he did. And that is where the difference comes in. You see, Shane Dawson, I'll keep using this example, apologised for blackface, did some research, understood, was still sorry that he did it and should have done it in the first place. The other side of that is that Repzilla, at least online, apart from that initial 3-minute apology, he has taken next to no accountability for his action. And that is just kind of showing that it wasn't a learning curve when it really should have been. Sure, it wasn't racism, but there was slander towards me. There was a whole bunch of stuff towards a whole bunch of people. There was like, I'm not 100% sure how to word it all, but there was a bunch of stuff that he, at least in my mind, still kind of does. And there's seemingly no effort to learn from those mistakes. Now, that could be because he doesn't see them as mistakes in the first place, so how can you learn from something you don't think is wrong, right? Whereas Shane Dawson understood where he went wrong and he took responsibility. And I do just want to say that I do agree that there should be a level of, if someone did something really bad, for example, something that they should be cancelled for example, depending on what it is, it's definitely a case-by-case basis, which I don't think people really realize, but it's definitely a case-by-case basis. So people should definitely, depending on what it is, be allowed to educate themselves and learn and grow. But if you're not educating yourself, learning, or growing, then you just shouldn't really have a platform. Of course, educating yourself, apologizing, growing, whatever, that will only apply if you do something wrong in the first place. So people who are like goody two-shoes, for example, they, I would assume, already have done the learning and stuff, whether it be before they became a public figure or while they have been a public figure or whatever, and they've never like done problematic things or whatever in their videos to start with. I don't know if this makes any sense, but my 2 cents on cancel culture. And sorry that I blabbed on for a long time. This was fully just unrehearsed and just off the top of my head, like a lot of my videos are. But I just wanted to sit down and talk about cancel culture and how some of it is definitely valid, and some of it there should be a willingness to allow someone to educate themselves and grow from it. Thanks for watching.